Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Tankers of Blitz Universe, welcome back to the channel. There was a time when this tank, the M4/FL10, could say it was one of a kind. The only auto-reloading tank in World of Tanks Blitz. Well, we now have the Pan-European Tech Tree, which means that this tank isn't the only auto-reloading tank in the game. But it still is the only auto-reloading premium tank in the game. So yeah, it has a bit of a sweet spot for me. It is also a Sherman, which I quite like. But it's again a tier 5 hull, basically, in tier 7 and 8. It's not as bad as the Revalorisé, which is a tier 8 hull, which does see tier 9s as well, which means you can get wrecked by HE fairly easily. But this tank can get wrecked by HE fairly easily too. It has got some plates, as you can see, on the left and the right hand side of the hull, which are some extra armor. That's good. And this is not the best thing to do. Okay, I mean, KV2 drivers, people always want to get the KV2. You sometimes see people driving it where you start thinking, how on earth did they even manage to install the game in the first place? Well, this KV2 driver did figure out, I got shot from that position, there's a bush over there, there's a big fat chance there is a tank in that bush. And there was. And that tank got shot. But don't worry, Kyle Victor Dorian is gonna have a great game here in the M4/FL10. And there was a day when me and my mate Kyle were hitchhiking down a long and winding road, and we ended up in Falls Creek. And I mean, the big treat obviously of an auto-reloading tank, and everybody knows this already, is the fact that you can dish out the damage fairly consistently, unless you bounce on the turret of an M4A3E2 on the jumbo. You can dish out damage consistently, or you can wait it out and then reload 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 full shells and then start dishing out the damage. This is a shot not worth taking. He's spotted as well, Kyle. And he has to be careful now. He can't do anything now anymore except wait for the rest to make stupid mistakes like this. If he's doing now, yes, come on, get that up. He doesn't get the next shot in, but can he clear this tank? No, run away, mate. You get there. Just behind that big building, behind the silo, just in time before that T-23E3 managed to shoot him, and the T-23E3 started thinking, oh, well, he's behind the building now. I'm probably safe. Well, think again, buddy. You're not safe. Carl managed to shut you down, and he is up to 2 kills now, and he has a lot of work to do, as you can see. It is a 2-on-5 at the moment. And, well, in a way, he is in a carry tank, and then in another way, he certainly is not. The one thing that Reds should not do here is poke out one by one and then run into his gun when he is fully reloaded. That's one shot, that's a lucky bounce on the track, and he is down to, what's it, 180 hit points. Oh, shot it, yeah mate, Kyle's got it, don't worry, hold his beer, he's got it. Get that shot in on the VK36 ONH, you have been built, but get balance there. I've got 3 shells in my magazine, yes, that's 1 shot in. SU-152, you have a fixed gun, don't worry, I'll shoot it through the lower plate. Then that tank on top over there misses the T-25/2, that shot feathers in as well. I love this. Oh, he sent me this game, he said, what, you have to watch this. This is a very, very clutch carry. 7 kills on Falls Creek, and he's making good use of that dead SU-152 as well, because he now realizes that he has to deal with an 88, and normally an 88 would not be a problem, but if you are down to 22 hit points, yeah, ooh, the 88 is, ooh, misses, yes, get 7 kills. And even if I knew he managed to get 7 kills, yeah, victory shot up in the air. Even if I knew that he managed to get 7 kills, I was thinking, dude, that was so lucky that 88 missed. You can get this tank, the M4/FL10, by buying 2 or more premium tanks in the store currently for Black Friday. You have about 1 day to go, maybe even half a day by the time you watch this. But if you buy one of the tier 8 premium tanks, you get 20 coupons, and if you buy another tier 8 premium tank, you get coupons. And that means you can then get this tank for free. And as I've noted on the last review on the funky tank, the T95E2, there's basically 2 tier A premium tanks and then this little bugger for 10,000 gold. And if you look at the tech tree, you can see that the average price for a tier 8 premium tank is between 7 and 7.5 thousand gold. So 10k for 2 tier 8 premium tanks and a quote-unquote free tier 7 premium tank. That's not bad. Let's face it, they are not the most brilliant premium tanks in the game. There are premium tanks that can bounce more, that are better, that have more portions of Russian bias in it. This tank has nothing in terms of Russian bias in it. And that's the T95E2 over there. You don't want to sit in front of this tank. Well, if it doesn't find the gun depression, then it's fine. And we're looking at Funny Brerum over here. And as you can see, he's having trouble with the gun depression on the M4 FL10. And you might start thinking, well, why is that? Why does a Sherman tank have bad gun depression? I used to think they had good gun depression. They are American tanks. Well, the hull it's not even an American one. It's an M4A4 hull, or lengthened hull with a different engine in the back. But it was an Israeli-made version of the Sherman with the British hull and then the French AMX oscillating turret on top of it. And those oscillating turrets, they can work well. They are light turrets, and because you lack the breech mechanism in the front of the tank, basically the entire upper part of the turret is the gun breech and the gun mount, etc. And that, in theory, makes it possible to fit a bigger gun to, well, say a small turret. And that's what they've done with this tank as well. But because you have that oscillating turret, you are quite limited in your gun constraints, and you only have 6 degrees of gun depression on this tank and only 8 degrees of gun elevation. That's about the worst in the entire game, and all the AMX type of tanks have this. The 1390, the 1375, they all have this really bad gun depression and elevation compared to regular guns counterparts. And Funny Brerum, he has to carry a bit now because this Tiger 2 on his team has a pumpkin on top and decided to flank around completely. It's 0-3. The housing has been cleared, that's good. The T95E2 has been cleared by the AT-15, who's doing a sterling job in the back. Sitting in the base, basically. He hasn't moved from the spawn, but yeah, he's providing some valuable support. The Tiger 1 is down, and Funny has to kill the counterpart. M4 Everton on his team gets a great bounce on that front plate. You can do the same stuff with this tank as you can do with regular Sherman tanks. You have an angled front plate, not really thick in nominal thickness, but if you angle it back, it can work. But he has to clear this tank before his teammates succumb to the onslaught of enemies. Yes, yet another bounce, clears the red M4 Everton and is then scooting away because he knows he's got 3 shots in the magazine. It is 2 versus 2 now. Shout out to that AT-15 who was in the back over there. I never thought they would get this far because there's a Tiger 1 of the red team back there in the town who is maybe seeing some icons and just figure out, can I shoot him now? Can I shoot the tank? No, you can't shoot the tank because he's running away. And the Reds decided to just, I don't know, sit in front of an AT-15. That's never a good idea. Don't sit in front of tank destroyers that don't have a turret. You can get on their side or behind them. And then the Tiger is kind enough to sit in the cap and then make his position known to Funny Brerum and the AT-15. And will he be able to kill this Tiger 1 as well? Ooh, you're getting low on hit points, buddy. Yes, 1 shot, 2, 3, and by the time he's done this Tiger becomes, or the M4 F10 becomes a single shot gun tank with the added advantage at the moment of a Tiger which has a damaged track and damaged turret and a damaged ammo rack. The Tiger will never be able to keep up in terms of traverse speed because of the damaged turret. Look at the icons on top over there, and there he goes, clears the Tiger. Great stuff. Nearly 4k damage dealt, 320 blocks, little block but welcome. 3632 damage. Lovely stuff, and shout out to that AT-15 for holding out and making it possible for Funny Bradum to carry the game to victory. And that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for Blitziverse. Conclusion of the Black Friday review, the M4 FL10, sort of quote-unquote free tank, if you buy a lot of stuff in WoT Tanks Blitz. See you on the next one. Cheers and happy tanking.